welcome back to the Academic Society. So it looks a little different here because I'm actually going live. I did not have time to record any videos this weekend, but I had something that I wanted to talk about today. So I decided to do a live video. So if you are watching this video live, let me know. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and ask me whatever work-life balance questions you have about being a grad student or being a grad student or being in graduate school. So yeah, just let me know. Hopefully I'm like looking in the right direction because I'm using my phone instead of a camera. Okay, so the thing that I want to talk about, work-life balance, because I have a lot of students in my graduate in my Facebook group for grad students talking about work-life balance and how they struggle with managing their time and how they don't know what to prioritize and things like that. So I do want to talk about 2 misconceptions about workplace balance that should help with your mindset about, did I say workplace balance? About work-life balance that should help with your mindset when it comes to work-life balance and how to figure out what's right for you. And so one you may not have heard about and one you probably have. So let's talk about the one that you may not have talked about with anyone before. And so typically we think of work-life balance as maybe 3 buckets. Like you have a bucket for grad school, you have a bucket for work or maybe like being a GTA or something, and you have a bucket for home. And you have all of these things that go in each one of those buckets. And you wanna kind of balance the time that you're spending on each. The issue with that is we know exactly what to do for school, we know exactly what to do for work, but in home, it's kind of like we're trying to fit too much into that. And that's usually the bucket that gets lost or left by the wayside. Our priority and focus is not usually on home life. So actually what I want us to start thinking about is splitting that bucket in half. So letting home be the things you have to do around your home. So things like maybe washing dishes, cooking dinner, meal prepping, doing your laundry, cleaning the house, things like that. Stuff that you have to get done to be an adult. So all the adulting thing, paying bills, that's part of home. But then there's also something else you have to think about that I think should be completely separate. That's yourself. So think about self-care and taking care of yourself, spending time with friends, refreshing who you are, and spending time on yourself. I think that should be a separate bucket altogether. So instead of just thinking work, school, home, think about work, school, home, and me time. And I think me time is so important, taking time to take care of yourself in graduate school. So that's the first misconception, that we don't separate taking care of the house and being an adult and having time for yourself. The other misconception about work-life balance is what balance means. So we kind of think of a scale. We want to be equal on both sides, and maybe all 4 of those buckets should be equal, but that actually is not the case. We are not going to be able to spend an equal amount of time at work, school, home, on yourself. And I don't think we're supposed to. I think it should be a little more in flux and kind of more of a react, call and response type of thing. So there are some days where you need to spend more time on your schoolwork, and there's some days where you're just exhausted. You need to spend time on yourself. So it's not going to ever be completely balanced, equally balanced. I think a good way to think about the type of balance is, I heard it from Raina Pomeroy from Raina & Co, if you've ever heard of her. She said she likes to think about work-life balance kind of like a surfer. So someone who's surfing, they're not going to just plant their feet equal distance apart in the middle of the board and surf. No, they're actually working with the wave and moving and readjusting as the waves are moving with them. And that's kind of how we have to think about work-life balance. There are going to be times where we're going to have more work to do at school, or we need to spend more time on ourselves, hang out with friends, and we have to adjust accordingly. So I think we really need to start thinking about being a little more intentional about where we're spending our time and where our time needs to be spent. Maybe this week you need to spend some time on yourself, and next week you need to buckle down and get a bunch of stuff done. So things like that. So let me know what you think about work-life balance and how you kind of see it. Do you agree with the surfer analogy? Do you think that home and me time should be separate buckets? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you're ever in a mode where you feel like you really need to be productive, definitely check out my latest blog post, the Productivity Accelerator Method. That will help you out. Also, I'm gonna do that program live with, so I'll be working and I'll assign you an accountability partner and we'll have co-working sessions. So I'll put a link for that in the description of this video later on. So awesome. I'm so glad I was able to film this video for you guys. I will talk to you next time. I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a wonderful day. Bye. How do I do this?